Hi, I'm Jonny Wright. I'm the writer-director of Ethel.
My name's Patricia Rybarczyk and I'm part of Three Wise Monkeys who produced Ethel.
I found this old lady. It's on a roundabout in the middle of a main road in Leicester. To cut a long story short, I walked her home, got her to her front door. Walking through that front door, there was post-it notes covering our whole house.
I'm JJ Hamlet, playing Kevin.
My name's Elijah Baker and I'll be playing the role of Jack.
And it's certainly a film that you wouldn't just want to watch once. I've learned so much about Alzheimer's just sort of exploring this film.
We are going to be giving 10% of our crowdfunding money to Bat outright. Miriam has those qualities that I want in Ethel. We as an audience need to want to protect.
I'd like to say that this is going to win a lot of awards, and I really do believe that's going to be the way it goes.
Geek Speak, the definitive 365 cut. These are the meaningless ramblings of a Scottish redone whore and a pissy ex-video store clerk. Their ongoing mission is to set right the movie wrongs. They're gonna need a bigger podcast.
Hello, you are listening to the 365 Flicks podcast. This is episode 112 and Indie Talk is back.
Yeah.
One more time. I am Scottish reading horror Chris, and the man sitting opposite me on the monitor is
the pissy ex-video store clerk, Kev. What do you mean one more time? Like, is this the last time we're doing it? Is this the last time?
No, continuing. One more time.
Yeah, to be continued.
No, one last time. I didn't say one last time, did I?
Well, I suppose no, you didn't say that. We've got a special one tonight, Chris. People are really going to get behind this one, I think. This is going to be a really special episode. And you know what? It kind of pertains a little bit to you, and I think this one strikes a chord with you a little bit more. So I'm going to let you tell the good people what show we have coming up.
Okay, so as we said, this is an Indie Talk. And this is a show all about a short film that is currently in the works. There's an IndieGoGo in place at the moment. The short film is called Ethel, and it is about Alzheimer's. So we have got Jonny Wright and Trish, who is a returning guest.
Yep.
She was on talking to us about her and Sasha's movie Tango 1, which is awesome.
And the fact that she was in Bad Girls.
And the fact that she's on Bad Girls, exactly, yeah.
I'm not letting that go.
I know. I'm aware. You were proper geeking out again.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna take that chance every chance I get, to be fair.
That's fine. Fair enough. So the guys came on the show last night to record with us. It was last night, wasn't it?
It was last night.
Yeah. So tell us all about the short film, all about the campaign, all about the social medias, and we are right behind this one. It is an important short film that's being made, and there's also a lot about it, a charity that helps people with Alzheimer's to sort of come out of the shell a little bit.
Yeah.
Which Trish tells us all about on the episode as well, and it actually surprised me.
Yeah.
What she was telling me about. Yeah.
Is this when I had to duck out, or?
Yeah, this is when you were busting for a shite.
It wasn't that. Just in case the listeners get worried, because I know they will when I disappear, because they will miss my dulcet tones. I did disappear halfway through this interview. Because, World War III was kicking off in my house.
It was, yeah.
But that's all good. It's all sorted now. It's the peace treaty is back in place. Our house is Switzerland once again. If you need to parlay, we are still the place you can come to. But Ethel, man, I loved speaking to these guys. Trish is fantastic. Jonny is, you know what? Like I got the feeling when we first started, he was a tad bit nervous, but once he got his feet wet, he was in.
Yeah, it's the same with a lot of people. We are very, very intimidating guys, Kev.
Well, you are Scottish, which makes you intimidating anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And because I had to duck out, I need to ask you a question, man. Did you get a chance to geek out about Miriam, or?
I did. Spoiler, though.
It's not a spoiler. I mean, we've had it on the Facebooks and on the socials. By the way, if you want to have a look at some of the stuff we've been posting about this short movie, obviously go to our Facebook, which is 365 Flicks Pod. I tell you what, man, you do the pimpage. It's your job.
You'd already started it.
No. It's your job. You tell people where they can find us.
I'm out of practice these days.
I know.
We've been so erratic lately. Well, say lately for the last 6 months.
I know.
It's your fault, to be fair. You're the one who suggested the frickin' bloody buggery Infinity War thing.
But that's done now. That's done.
Yeah. Yeah, so, well, first of all, we want everybody to go and have a look for Ethel on the Facebooks and the Twitters. Like it, share it, like a son of a bitch. Even if you are not able to donate to it, please share the page, like the page, because it helps them so much. And, we want you to do this, please. So go on like that, Ethel short film, or Ethel short film. If you search for that on Facebook, on Twitter, you will find it. And please do that for us. But you can also look for the 365 Flicks podcast. Don't forget to also like and share us. You can also follow us on the iTunes. Please leave us a cheeky 5-star review because, we've not got much in our lives. So 5-star reviews help us get through the day.
They do.
Look for us on Spotify and don't forget to follow us on there as well as any other third-party podcasting app that you can find. Don't you roll your eyes at me?
I wasn't. I was yawning internally, trying not to make a noise on the mic. But thanks for pointing that out.
You're very welcome.
Brilliant.
Arsehole. We're on a few cheeky networks. We're on the Tangent Network, the Wicked Radio Network, We Be Geeks, our British home, nerdly.co.uk, Geeks Worldwide. Don't interrupt me. Geeks Worldwide and hashtag Product Family and hashtag Britpod Scene. Done. Boosh.
I like it. Chris.
Kev.
Before we get into this interview, which is a fantastic interview, and you're gonna find out a lot of great stuff about this movie. Some of the actors that are in it, you're gonna find out about some of the money that's actually going to charity from the budget. So not only are they asking for a little bit of money, but some of the money that people are given is going to go to this charity, which is awesome. Which I don't really see that happening on any other crowdfunders. Maybe they are, but I'm not seeing it.
It's the subject matter, though.
It is the subject matter. Yeah. It's it's an important story that we need to tell. But I got two little bits of news before we go into the interview.
Mm-hmm.
So number one.
Stop doing that, don't I?
Yeah, you do a little bit.
Yeah.
So number one, there's currently another IndieGoGo on the GoGo for remember Pogs. Remember the game Pogs?
I do not.
There is a guy out there crowdfunding because he's making a app game of Pogs.
What's the bloody point of that?
Well, shut up. I'll just move on to the second bit. Seeing as you're not interested, I have been massively excited about this for the last 2 or 3 days. So up yours. So yeah.
Oh, seriously, what's the point of that? Because this isn't the point of...
Because it's Pogs.
They're little round bastards, aren't they?
Yeah.
So isn't the point like you, share them and shit? Like stickers?
No, it's Pogs. Leave it alone. So, yeah.
No, let's go. Rewind. Okay. I want to know what's the point of it?
What's the point of it? It's an awesome addictive game that...
But it's like, you had them, you like physically had 2 Pogs and didn't you you went like...
you hit it with your slammers.
So what the fuck are you going to do with an app?
The same thing. It's going to be like an AR game. You're going to be able to scan your physical Pogs into the game and use them during, against battles and stuff. Shut up, alright? Leave me alone.
Stupid.
You're stupid. But another thing came in today. We have got some breaking news. Hurricane Toby's weather reports are about to begin.
Yes, I am excited for this. I was at work when he sent us the file, so I have not heard it.
I've only listened to the first minute so far, but I'm assuming this is going to be gold.
Well, I like the photo that you put on the Facebooks.
Yep, the photo was very sexy.
And the 365 on the side of a helicopter does not look too shabby.
That's not too shabby at all. It's almost like it was photoshopped.
No.
But clearly it wasn't. We pay the big bucks to get our name on the side of helicopters. So Hurricane Toby's first ever weather report is here. And we will be going straight into the Ethel interview after that. But first of all, just have a little cheeky listen to this, man.
In 2018, a crack weatherman was sent to prison by a military cop for a crime he dignity and fare dodging. This man promptly escaped on the London Underground. Today, still wanted by the bar managers of London for unpaid tax. He survives as a weatherman of podcast fortune. If you have a problem, if no one else can help, and if you can find him, maybe you can hire Hurricane Toby. This is Toby with the first weather report for 365 Flicks podcast. As you can hear, I'm in the chopper. Got some fantastic news for all the filmmakers out there who listen to this podcast. Galway Film Festival, or Galway Film Flay, I believe is the pronunciation, is coming up in July. Now, it's not as glamorous as Cannes, but it is more business orientated. So if you're a producer or a director, you've got a script, you've got a project, you've got a pitch, Galway Film Festival is apparently the place to be. I've never been there before. I'm going this year. Apparently it's fantastic. Mr. David Nicholas Wilkinson, the man with the info, told me that. So I'll try and turn down the chopper engine noise. Turn the engine noise down! Christ's sake. So thanks to David for that intro. Turn the engine down! So apparently helicopters, you cannot turn the engine noise down, but they are very exciting. So it's kind of, you win some, you lose some situation in the helicopters. So Galway Film Festival coming up, so go along there. You can stay in a 5-star hotel with me or book a youth hostel, whatever you like. Just tell people you're in the 5-star obs. Totes, OMG, WTF and other stuff that millennials say and I don't understand. What else is coming up? The Indie Film Network is running amok with excitement, especially the actors amongst the industry, because Tom Payne's film Stairs will be casting soon. I don't know when, we haven't got a confirmed date, but news on the grapevine is that'll be coming soon. So I hear nude pictures have already started going to Tom Payne. Maybe just mine so far, but I'm sure more will come. If you don't know Tom Payne, you shouldn't. If you listen to this podcast, you know Tom Payne. He's on it more than me. That's saying something. His film Black Site will be coming out soon. And I guess because this is a weather report, it is fucking sunny. I love it. I'm topless in a park in Bethnal Green somewhere. I've just moved to Bethnal Green, by the way. I went to the Core Stability, which is kind of like Uber Pilates class this morning at the local gym. Joined up yesterday. Only man in the class. Standard. Could I be called a man? Yeah, I think I could be called a man. I have a beard, I must be a man. Or a bearded lady. Cool. Speaking of bearded ladies, having a barbecue with my man Lee Apsey soon. I'm not saying he's a bearded lady, but he has got a beard and he is beautiful. Alright, this is Toby signing out of Hurricane Toby's weather report. By the way, I didn't make up the name Hurricane Toby myself. That was a hashtag given by the lovely Chris and Kevin. Although I do have an ego, it's not big enough to call myself Hurricane Toby, even though I just did. But I wasn't the first. Hurricane Toby, signing out.
Yeah, okay, that was a pretty cool one.
That was Hurricane Toby. Let's just be clear, it wasn't a hashtag.
Yeah, you don't do hashtags.
I most certainly do not. And I do not do shortening of words, as Toby did in that segment. I'm upset by that.
That's cool that you did. Cool that you did that.
It's cool, although he was apparently in two places at once. Because I thought he was on a helicopter, and then he said he's topless on some green somewhere. So
I think the helicopter was in Bethnal Green.
So the helicopter had landed.
Well, what I told him to do was to make it sort of like a man about town type thing. So just get himself out there in amongst the people and just let us know what's going on in London. Just give us the crack, so to speak. And obviously he took the helicopter, got himself to Bethnal Green, and then had a little sunbathe.
Fair play.
So fair play.
I'm upset that he's sending you just to Tom, though.
Yeah, I know. That's like 2 people he sends them to now.
I'm not happy with that. I'll scratch his eyes right out.
Right. Okay, Ethel, on IndieGoGo, go look for it, give as much as you can, and we're going to speak to 2 people right now who are going to tell you exactly why you should. We think you should. It's important. Interview in progress. I blame London because when we were down there last weekend, when I came back like for 3 days straight, I was flattened.
Yeah, but you guys went full hog on it, didn't you? Like I kept on Facebook and like falling asleep with a phone in your hands.
Yeah, you totally done me there. Like that wasn't funny.
But you met Toby.
It was funny.
Met him finally. Amazing.
We did, and
yeah. Sorry, I wasn't going mental there. I was a moth. I swear that if you've got the camera on, you saw me going like that.
No, I don't have the camera on.
You'll not see the new 365 swag. That's a shame. Tonight we are joined by 2 very awesome people. One of which is one of the 3 wise monkeys. We were supposed to have 2, but Sasha sacked it off because apparently we're not good enough for him. So tonight we have Trish, who was the star of multiple Bad Girl episodes, and I will keep mentioning that, Trish. But she'd rather I was to sit here and tell you about, the fact that she worked with some people like Stephen Burkoff, Alan Ford, Mark Hamill, Van Damme, Timothy Spall. But why would you talk about that when you can talk about Bad Girls? Joining Trish tonight is Jonny Wright, a writer, director, producer. Had one of a docudrama on the BBC, BBC 3, Britain's Most Wanted Motorcycle Gangs. But we are here to talk about short movie Ethel, which, if you've listened to previous episodes, you'll have heard us bang on about it. We really into this. It's an important story that we want to see get made, and the IndieGoGo is currently on the go. So we thought, get Trish, get Jonny on the show, and we can talk about Ethel. How are you guys tonight?
Very well, thank you. How are you guys?
It's been a long time coming, this one. We've been trying to get this one going, and things kept jumping in the way, but we're here now, so yeah. How's Chris?
Yeah, good. All good. And it's good to get this one going.
It is. And Jonny, this is your first time on 365 Flicks, the Indie Talk. How are you tonight, my good friend?
I've been better. I've come down ill recently, like tonight. But now I've learned that Trish was on Bad Girls. I am a happy man.
Did you not know this? Surely that's got to be a calling card, Trish.
No, but thanks, guys. You can be my agents. I don't know what to say.
I mean, that's like, if I had that on my repertoire, that's the first thing I'd be saying.
You'd be bringing that up in every conversation.
Yeah.
Just no matter what the topic is, you'd be going, this reminds me of my time on Bad Girls.
Guys, I might put it into my IMDb, the main description bit. I think, fuck everything else. I think I might as well just change it to that. I mean, for 3 seasons, I had the same outfit and some very sexy Pepsi shoes.
Exactly.
So, we should definitely be championing that.
The thing that gutted me was that I made a Bad Girls reference in the Facebook chat the other day, and Trish had to go and Google it. What's that about? She was like...
It was a long time ago.
I'm like, you survived Jim Fenner's advances, and I probably look like a right little Larry bastard writing that. Because she's like, I don't know who that is.
Well, I mean, the minute I Googled him, obviously I knew who he was. But yeah, I mean, he was an interesting fellow, shall we say?
Yeah. But anyway, so Jonny, being this is your first time on the show, how about we get a little bit of getting to know you, and how about you tell us a little bit about yourselves and tell our good listeners, because it makes our job 10 times easier.
Okay, I'll try. So by day, I'm a producer director for a lot of different varying TV shows. Currently working on Geordie Shore. I've made a documentary.
No, Geordie Shore. Oh no.
Yeah, my third series now. They're actually all a bunch of good guys when they're behaving, shall we say. So that's me by day, really. That's how I make my bread and butter. I make reality TV, occasionally make documentaries, like you mentioned, my BBC documentary, Britain's Most Wanted Motorbike Gangs. And now I'm trying to break into fiction, really. I wrote Ethel in 2012 based on an encounter I had when I was about 18, and now it's taken over my life.
I will just quickly say, when my wife listens to this episode, you will become her new best friend, because she loves Geordie Shore.
Yeah, my sister likes Geordie Shore as well. There was one day I found it on her planner, and I may have said things to her.
There's nothing wrong with it. It's great. It's entertainment, man.
My sister-in-law to be, and is obsessed with it. So, Jonny, you've gone right up in her estimations. And apparently my brother, who would pretend that he doesn't watch it, she told me does. There we go, a new fan club for you.
I actually make an appearance tonight in tonight's episode.
Nice.
Yeah, breaking up a fight.
I was going to say, is it one of those ones where they smash up the apartment and the crew have to come in? They're always my favourite episodes. Not that I watch it. But anyway, so let's talk.
Are you going to say, Kev, the wife makes me watch it?
Yeah, she doesn't.
That's a good one, isn't it?
I genuinely actually did watch it with her for some time, but let's not talk about that. Let's move on, please, before I lose all credibility.
Tell us about this the bikers documentary, Jonny, because did it go mental with it, or was it like a Russ Kemp type situation where it felt a little bit dangerous, or?
Yeah. So before that, I'd made a documentary with the same company, Special Edition Films, and I was a DV director at the time, and I was brought in a second camera, really, for a Britain First documentary called We Want Our Country Back.
Right.
And off the back of that, the executive producers of the company, it's a small little company, they thought that I had the skill set, I guess, and the right sort of personality to befriend and gain the trust of these guys who kind of live. They're like, it's their hobby, so they're not doing it to piss anybody off or get in the way, but they've got nowhere to do it apart from the public roads. So yeah, I lived with them for about 3 months, following one main guy called Wavy. One Wheel Wavy on Instagram. With him, I went to Miami. Miami was crazy. That was a big deal over him, because Bike Life, what the whole show's about was Bike Life, which is a movement where people perform stunts and dangerous riding on the roads, and they do it to kind of get a name for themselves. And the bigger and badder the stunts are, the more followers they get, and the more sort of kudos they get. I was with him for 3 months. We went to Miami. That was quite hairy. Driving around in like a getaway car, shooting from like standing up in the back of a convertible. Had a gun put in my face by a police officer.
Wow.
Just because that's how American police officers react to anything, really. They draw their gun first. We kind of talked that down, and then we weren't arrested, and I wasn't deported or anything like that, so that was good. But yeah, no, like the guys were really, 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 really welcoming to me. Like my first night, I remember going into like a flat with them after they'd done a bit of riding, And that was quite nerve-wracking, but I felt like I could go one of two ways with them. I can either back off and let them own me and not ask the sort of questions that I knew my boss would kill me if I didn't ask, or I could go the other way and really try and get under their skin a little bit, but judging it so that I didn't get a black eye. So
or worse.
Yeah, and after that, I think I kind of earned their respect a little bit. They knew that I wasn't gonna have the wool pulled over my eyes and that I wasn't going to be taking things lying down, but that I also respected them and their sport, I guess.
That's all amazing.
Yeah, and I saw that through from the beginning to the end. Really, it was almost a one-man show. Apart from the production company, they were a big help. Obviously, they helped me and guided me and made me the sort of PD that I am now. But a lot of that was me out on my own, living with these guys and filming, and just generally absorbing their culture for as long as I could. And then I took it through the edit, and then we put it out on. It went out on BBC iPlayer and became one of the year's top 10 most watched factual shows. So we're quite proud of that, really.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to be proud of that? That's awesome. It sounds fantastic. I wouldn't mind having a go at that.
Yeah, especially
you'd get killed.
At one point, it was number one on the most watched iPlayer top 40. And we were up against the Olympics and EastEnders, so that was. Wow. I took a quick screen grab of that before it disappeared.
Damn right, yeah.
That was great.
Definitely.
So, have you got anything else like that on the boil, or?
No, at the minute my life is Geordie Shore. I'm about to go travelling for about 7 weeks in South America. It kind of has come up at the wrong time due to things with Ethel moving, how they've moved post me booking this trip. But I've spent far too much money on flights and treks to cancel it. So I will be working on Ethel from mountains somewhere in South America at times.
That does sound pretty cool, though.
It does.
So let's jump into Ethel. The first thing I kind of want to ask is, obviously, Jonny, you've got sort of your reality TV show background and your documentaries, and you're moving into making fiction, and then you've got Patricia and Sasha with the Three Wise Monkeys. How did this come together? How did these two groups come together for Ethel?
So, an MTV reality show, really. Me and Trish worked on a show called Car Crash Couples, and we were total strangers to each other. But luckily, Trish was our producer. I was part of a nighttime. There was two teams. There was a nighttime and a daytime team. I was part of the smaller unit, the nighttime team, and Trish was our producer and line manager, sorting things out as we went along. So we spent a lot of times together, and after shooting at like 3 or 4 in the morning, we'd sit down and have red wine and antipasti and all that sort of stuff all around Europe. And I learnt that she did stuff in TV in between producing feature films. So my cog started going, and I had a few scripts. So I kind of cheekily said, "Would you mind if I put a few scripts under your nose?" And I gave Trish a feature film that I wrote called Hooligan, and Trish kind of liked that, but she realised that because I only have a TV background, a music video background, that I'd need to have some sort of proof of my skill set. So she asked me if I had any short films, to which I sent her Ethel.
And then Trish, what was the response from your side when Ethel came your way?
So, I mean, first of all, I read the feature film and I absolutely loved it. And as Jonny said, it was a case of, I really, really like this. But yeah, is there anything else that we can sort of do a proof of concept for? So we'd never done a short film. I think we've said before, we'd never really understood short film because we were like, well, we've worked on micro budgets, and for what you can raise on micro budget, you could almost shoot a feature. So is there anything else? But this one just caught me straight away. I absolutely fell in love with Ethel. I love the twists and turns of the story, and I was like, right, well, we've got to get into short filmmaking. It just so happens that we've done 2 others this year, but I think it's actually converted me totally into what short film is about. And how short film can be such a positive and amazing thing for a filmmaker, and also coming at from it at a different angle, I guess, because Sasha and I, do have quite a fair bit of experience, pulling in everything from our feature film experience into a short film is I think possibly very different to starting with short film and moving forward. So we're lucky enough to have quite strong relationships with, whether it be product placement or musicians or composers or editors or actors. And so instantly we think we can draw in a much stronger package. Doesn't make it any easier. But yeah, in between all of that, Sasha, Jonny and I also tried to develop another film and then found out in Cannes that someone made a really similar film. So we were like, let's push on with Ethel. We know Ethel hasn't been done before. It is a really unique script and let's get this going. But even from that point to where we are now has taken 3 years.
Wow.
Because, it's either I was on a film or Sasha and I were doing something or Jonny was in Australia, and it was constantly that back and forth of when someone was back, it was like, right, what's going on with Ethel? And it was just timing it into, now we need to look at the script again, or we need to pull this again. And at moments it was really frustrating, and it was, I'm sure Jonny will tell you, frustrating from his side, going, what the fuck's going on? And then same from us when, perhaps he was away for a couple of weeks or, the other side of the world. And it just so happened that now was the time that it all started coming together. And I still believe to this day that if we'd rushed it, we wouldn't have the package that we have now. So yes, it was frustrating, but bloody hell, I strongly believe we've got something so amazing on our hands.
I mean, I've been on your IndieGoGo page and I've been looking at everything you've got written up on there, and you have got something really special, and the people that are involved all seem really special. And when you mentioned the last time we had you on with Sasha to talk Tango 1, you mentioned some of the projects that you had on the go. And I don't remember you mentioning Ethel, and I'm kind of like, when this came around, I'm like, why didn't they mention that?
Yeah, I think at that time we were just in the process of getting contracts signed, so I didn't think there might have been a one-liner mention. I can't quite remember, but certainly it was like, I don't want to say too much because you've got, as a producer, I really believe you've got to protect the director. And bless Jonny, for him coming into this sort of drama world, into the film world, I feel like I've got to protect him even more because there's so many highs and lows. And bless him, we're very open with Jonny, but sometimes it's a case of a director doesn't need to know that you've nearly had $2,000 come in, but actually they've changed their mind overnight, because that's just going to, it's quite soul destroying, and not everyone's soul needs to be destroyed on a pre-production of a feature film. Jonny's great with it because we do share everything with him, but at the same time, it was just one step at a time. And when we got the contracts in, that's when I started screaming and shouting to it about with everyone.
So does that kind of thing happen a lot, Trish?
Yeah, it really does.
Right.
I mean, cracking finance on a feature has been the bane of my life for a number of years. I don't want to sound like an egomaniac, but I feel like I can do the production bit on set and pre-production, with quite a lot of ease because I've done a lot of that kind of stuff. But cracking the front end of raising finance and then the distribution side has been something that I've struggled with in my career, and certainly something I want to develop as a filmmaker. So now coming to that side of raising the crowdfunder, I think every day you learn, and we're learning what to do, what not to do, how to do it, get advice from other filmmakers. A lot of people are coming to me and giving me advice, which I wouldn't have thought normally would. Like people I haven't heard from on Facebook for years are being really supportive. And this is when the community pulls together, right? It's all about helping each other out. And that's the beauty about our level of filmmaking, is we nearly all want to help each other out and work together. And I think that's something I said last time as well. It's so important for us in this industry.
One of the things that we've found when talking to people who've been doing these crowdfunds, whether it's IndieGoGo or Kickstarter or anything like that, is It's an absolute ball ache for everyone. You know, it's not an easy thing to do. So you do kind of find that people are jumping in and giving each other a bit of advice, a bit of help, a bit of, you know, push forward and all that. And it is a fantastic little thing that we really genuinely love about the world that you guys are in.
No, absolutely. I mean, we've already been invited to film festivals for next year with Ethel, and it's like, that's bloody amazing. However, we haven't made it yet. We need to raise the money to make it. And, you know, of course, worst case scenario, we'll pull in every favour under the sun, because this project is going to happen.
Yeah.
It's absolutely going to happen. I've promised Jonny that. I, in myself, believe it's going to happen. We've got the support from everyone involved. It's just whether people want to join us for that ride. And the ride's pretty good. So join us, because it's going to be a lot of fun. You know, currently we've got the project in front of the people who looked after a silent child. They take it on, then bloody hell, we're flying. So please keep fingers and toes crossed, everyone.
Yeah, well, while we're there, Jonny, this is, I mean, obviously for Sasha and Trish as well, this is a baby for Three Wise Monkeys. But you wrote this like 5 or 6, 7 years ago, so why don't you give us a little bit of, as much as you can without spoilers or anything, a little bit of a synopsis of what the movie's going to be?
Okay, yeah, so it's based on a real life event, something that happened to me when I was about 18. I found a lovely old lady called Pearl on a roundabout at about 2 a.m. I used to work at a cinema, cycling home from the cinema after a viewing, found this old lady in a nightie. She was telling me she's going to go and meet her mum, and she was clearly too old to have a mum still alive. So I was like, this woman needs some help. I need to get her home. So I eventually managed to convince her to walk home with me. Luckily, she lived around the corner from where I was living at the time. And I walked through the front door, and her whole house was covered in Post-it notes, just Post-it notes everywhere. And I couldn't really, it's something I couldn't really forget. That image just stuck with me forever. And Pearl was talking to me, and that was kind of like, this woman is really vulnerable. She's accepted a stranger into her house. I could have been anybody, and that was something that really kind of resonated with me. So I wanted to turn that into a short film and try and get the awareness of how Alzheimer's does leave people vulnerable. And my kind of shtick is social realism. I like Ken Loach films, and I like Shane Meadows films. So I wanted something that was grounded and showed this world from a different angle. And I also like playing with the audience. So long story short, the film follows 2 people really, Ethel and a young guy called Jack. And now Jack kind of has a skewed moral compass, and he someone that is quite shady, really. Watching his side of the story, you see him. He gets into fights. He's a drug dealer, and he needs money, and he needs money fast. Now that's where Ethel comes in. He spots Ethel's house. He knows she's an easy target, and he eventually their worlds cross. But without saying too much more and giving things away, that's all I can really say.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a pretty damn powerful film then.
Yeah. Originally, it started as when I first wrote it, I didn't want any dialogue. I wanted this to be something that the audience made their mind up, and you kind of got the 2 tones of the 2 worlds through music, through noise, and through like non-diegetic sound, like the radio being on, saying there's been burglaries in the area and things like that. And then with Trish and Sasha's sort of guidance, they were like, this kind of needs to be, This kind of needs to be brought out a little bit more. Like the story needs to be developed, and you definitely need to have some dialogue in here. So I went back to the drawing board, put some dialogue in, sent it back to Trish and Sasha. They liked the first sort of version, and then I think Sasha came up with the idea that we need to add another element to it. So I then went and wrote it again, and that gave us the final piece that we have now. So yeah, from the first draft in 2012 to now, the story has changed a lot, really. There's a lot of little nuances that you'll have to watch a second time to see. There's a lot of little clues that you might not pick up on, but the second time you watch it, you'll see, that makes sense, and that's why that's happened, and so forth.
So you have a pretty damn fine cast.
Yes, we do. If you'd have told me 6 years ago that we'd have this cast, I would have laughed in your face, to be honest. Never in my wildest dreams would I have thought that we had the cast that we have attached to this film.
So you've announced a few of them on the Facebooks. Is there any?
We've announced all of them now.
Yeah, they're all announced.
Yeah, Trish.
You've announced all of them, have you?
Yeah, Trish, I'll give you the honours. Actually, you've been the one that's plugged away to get these, so.
Sure. So we started off with JJ Hamlet from Union J. So he was the first one to get involved. And we attached him, how long ago, Johnny? About a year ago?
Yeah, probably about 18 months ago.
Yeah, so he's been very supportive of it right from the beginning. And obviously we'd worked with him on Tango 1. So that was, he then went on to do 2 other movies, I believe. And just agreed straight away to be part of this. He also has experienced Alzheimer's firsthand, so it was quite an important story with him. We've went back and forth with an Alzheimer's charity for over a year as well, and sort of that didn't quite work out, but we'll get to that later. So we had him in as Jack originally. And then our second casting, we got involved was Elijah. So Elijah Baker was also in Tango 1, and We Still Kill the Old Way for us. And he really wanted to play Jack, actually. He felt like he's being typecast quite a lot, and initially he wasn't sure whether he'd go for it. So we looked at it again. Johnny came to see Tango 1 at the screening at Universal and just fell in love with him through Tango 1. And we sort of decided, well, why don't we switch the roles? Why don't we make Kevin, why don't we make Elijah play Jack and then JJ make Kevin? And we spoke to both the actors. They were absolutely cool with it. It adds another layer of dimension within the whole project, which was quite nice, which you'll all see when we obviously finish it. And then the third thing was the charity. So we went out to the charities for various reasons. The ones that we'd been talking to for quite some time didn't work out. A lot of sort of politics involved, unfortunately. It was all a bit upsetting. And for some reason, I'm obsessed with ping pong, as is Sasha. And I was out in Shoreditch for a meeting, and I thought, why don't I go into Bounce Leisure? And the week before, we'd actually got a ping pong table delivered to our production office, so it was all very weird at the timing. I went into Bounce and just had a chat with them. I think I went in to actually use the toilets, and on the desk there was these sets of cards saying Bounce Alzheimer's Therapy, and I thought, oh, well, that's interesting. So I spoke to the ladies at the desk, and they're like, oh, yeah, so Bounce Leisure is the ping pong tennis, table tennis club, but we've got this charity that we work alongside called Bounce Alzheimer's Therapy, and they're just a really positive young charity trying to use table tennis as a way of a coping mechanism for patients with Alzheimer's. So I was like,
right.
Well, hold on, this sounds really interesting. Obviously, we don't feature table tennis in the film, but Alzheimer's is obviously something that we are dealing with, so let me get in touch with them. So I contacted Ian and Andrew from there, and they came back to us pretty much straight away. So basically what they do is they develop specialist table tennis tables with sides, and they get people to play who have Alzheimer's. And it's a drug-free therapy. So they're a drug-free charity, basically.
Right.
And they put these tables into care homes, and people almost snap out of having Alzheimer's. I mean, I don't know if that's the right sort of terminology to say, but it is almost like you're watching someone with a condition and then without a condition as as they play it. And obviously they can't use the ball because the table tennis table has sides on it. So we looked into that, and they were just all over the project. They liked the grittiness of it. They're a young charity anyway, and the fact that we're dealing with someone who is a carer within the film means that they're the people of the future who can look at this film and be inspired and know that there's help for them, and know that Alzheimer's can affect any walk of life, and so we just started chatting to them, and they came up with loads of ideas, and then they came up with a list of people that we might be able to approach for our Ethel character, and Miriam Margolyes was on the list, and Jonny got very excited.
Yeah, rightly so, Jonny, rightly so.
Absolutely, and that was our number one. Ian from BAT then contacted them, the agent, and then I took over from there. And Miriam came back in a matter of days saying that she loved the script and she's on board. So we're allowed to have her for a day.
That's fantastic.
Just couldn't believe it. And
she's an amazing woman. She really is.
She really is. And and alongside that, the things that BAT are doing, they're so out of the box. And Ian used to be a creative director for people like Disney. So the ideas that he has alongside promoting the charity, the fact that also what they're doing is they're making ping pong tables to put into schools, because actually if you play, it's number one brain sport. So if you give kids a table to play with, they might be able to prevent ever getting the disease themselves.
Wow, right.
Yeah, so they're putting those into schools and just everything that was coming together, even though the film doesn't feature table tennis per se, we're going to give a nod to it, just meant that these are the people we want to work with, because we're outside of the box people as well.
Yeah.
So then that was our Ethel casting. And then finally, we have a mutual friend that we met on the MTV gig called Richie Carr, and he had worked with Professor Green on one of his homeless projects. And he said, you guys should definitely talk to him. And we did, and he's on board. So we've got Professor Green playing Luke as well. That's
amazing. Is that not surreal as hell, Jonny? Is that not just...
Yeah. In a word, it is very surreal. I know Richie knew Professor Green, Stephen Manderson, for a while, and I'd been trying to tell him to get this film under his nose, because I had a character, Luke, that I figured wouldn't take up too much of Stephen's time, and also was a way to build the profile of the film to the younger audience through his music and his social media platform and everything like that. So I was trying to get it under Richard's nose, and Richard hadn't really read the script, and it's kind of like, I think he was like, I'm not really going to risk my friendship with Professor Green over another mate's script when people can probably be writing scripts 10 a penny to put under Stephen's nose.
Yeah.
Until Miriam signed on, and then I was told not to tell anybody, but I had to go and brag to a few people, bragged to our little MTV group, which Trish was part of, and on the back of that, Richie was like, "Oh, maybe I should have a look at this script and give it to Professor Green." And then, just like pretty much like everybody that's read the script, which is again really strange. Like for me, writing this in 2012 in my bedroom with pipe dreams of making it, or just dreams of making it with a few friends on a DSLR camera or something like that, to then have Trish call me whilst I'm in work and say, Miriam Margolyes wants to play Ethel and Professor Green wants to play Luke, is something that I never ever dreamt of, and I have to pinch myself most days to I honestly have to just pinch myself and remember that this is going to be something amazing and not a pipe dream anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the thing. And just wait until you get on set for the first time, and you've got Miriam Margolyes reading your words. Yeah, Christ, that's amazing, man. Yeah. It's amazing. It's so cool. We actually, I actually met her. We were in Cincinnati Comic Con last September. I actually met her very briefly because she was there. It was her first Comic Con in America that she'd done, and we were trying so hard to get her on to do an interview. And her agent, or the guy said she's up for it. She's up for doing it, but we just couldn't nail her down to get the interview. And I was gutted. But yeah, I'm so made up for you, man. That's amazing. That's absolutely incredible.
I can't wait. Yeah, she's a busy woman. Like she's very, very busy. Again, we're very lucky because she's squeezing our shoot date in between two other shoots that she's got. So again, you have to just thank your lucky stars and say, Jesus, I'm actually doing this.
Yeah, she's going to America the day after, I believe.
Right.
So it's literally between stuff. So we're so incredibly lucky. And yeah, we both still kind of have conversations about it going, oh my God, like we actually have to do this now. There is zero backing out. Whatever happens.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Get made. And, it's going to do good things to the community. And this isn't just a one-off project for any of us. I think, we've learned a lot about how we work. We definitely want to work with Jonny again. His writing is fantastic. And yeah, it's an ongoing thing with that, with Jonny, with Three Wise Monkeys. I think this is going to be the start of a lot of more really positive projects.
I have no doubt. Absolutely no doubt. Yeah, so obviously the whole idea of you coming on tonight is you guys have an IndieGoGo running at the moment. So why don't you tell us a little bit about the different perks, the different levels that people can go in and donate? Because I did it the other day and there's a lot on there. So yeah, tell us a little bit about that.
Well, so yes, there is a lot on there because we've got obviously a lot of people behind it from the cast side. One thing we have forgotten to mention is that from the crew side, we've got some incredible support from former WWE wrestler Al Snow and his business partner Simon Vanderwolf from Al Snow's Wrestling Academy. So
yeah. I was trying to convince Kev to go and do that.
Amazing.
I might actually just pay for it for him, just as long as I can go and see him get his ass kicked.
Yes, do it. Well, we're offering...
He's not on the call right now because he had to go into the house, so he's going to listen back to this later on. But that's cool. Al Snow, you would expect, haven't you?
No, so he's flying in all the way from Kentucky to be with us for a couple of days. So there's a big fight in the film. I can't reveal between who, but he's going to be choreographing that with Simon. Nice. And as a side note, we're offering a great perk with a one-on-one wrestling session with him. But perks obviously they're catered for absolutely everyone. So we didn't want to discriminate between anyone at all. They start from a $5, go up to 15 grand. So it's out there for anyone. The sort of easy ones are sort of just a internal gratitude from us. There's things like badges. There's PDF copies of the script, the screenplay, the poster, the storyboards, which were done by Carl Staples, who did the ones for The Silent Child as well. Mm-hmm. We also won a poster competition from Mr. Chicken Films, who kindly did our great poster with all the post-it sticky notes on it. Then we've got things like being featured as an extra in a montage scene with Elijah, being things like if you wanted to nominate a photo of your friend or family member or yourself to be on Ethel's mantelpiece as well. So we're going to do a panning shot across her mantelpiece of what would be Ethel's friends and family. So you can nominate someone, send us a photo and sort of be on that. And then we've got things like if you're a filmmaker and you wanted to meet with Jonny, myself and Sasha, then you can do a lunch at BAFTA with us. So your perk is that obviously we'll take you out for lunch. You can talk to us about, filmmaking, and any projects that we've been involved in. You can do meet and greet with cast on set. You can also shadow a crew member. So whether you're someone who wants to be in sound or camera or you want to be an assistant director, there's something for everyone there. Signed pics. There's also Skyping us if you can't make it to set because maybe you're halfway across the world or halfway across the country. Then you can Skype ourselves. Or what else? I'm trying to think now.
There's the Post-it note lottery. So on set, we're going to have hundreds of Post-it notes all around Ethel's house. And the idea is that myself, Sasha, Trish, all the crew and all the cast will sign one. I mean, I'll probably sign multiple. Trish will probably sign multiple. But the big names like Miriam, Professor Green, Elijah and JJ will all sign only one. And now you're then entered into the lottery where you might luckily win Miriam's signed Post-it note framed that was not only a prop but also has her signature.
Wow, right.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And then also we've got things like, obviously we know that maybe not everyone can afford a meet and greet on set. So we've also got a meet and greet lottery as well. So so that's a set visit for 2 people. Again, you enter a lottery and we're going to do a live Facebook sort of drawing of the lottery. And that's £10 to enter. So you can get something really cool just for £10, which would be what? 2 pints in a London pub or, you know, a couple of bars of chocolate. So yeah, but there's also going to be a lot of special perks and secret perks coming out. So you watch this space because they'll be either through the cast themselves, promoting it through their Instagram, Twitter or Facebook. And there might be some secret ones that we launch as well because we've just managed to get a PR agency on board. So there's some cool stuff which will be all, you know, fundraising related. It might be table tennis related. It might be filmmaking related. But we're going to do some awesome stuff and just keep evolving the campaign to keep people's interests up. We don't want to bore people with the same message all the time and nothing new happening.
Yeah, that's a good point because you don't want to just be sharing the same post over and over and over again. Obviously, you want to, as you say, keep it fresh and mix up and that. Yeah,
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
The big thing I want to point out with our IndieGoGo campaign, which is one of the main reasons for choosing IndieGoGo over Kickstarter, is that 10% of our total raised funds will go to BAT Therapy, will go to BAT Foundation. So we are, even with the fiver, you'll be giving 50p to BAT. If you give us £100, you'll be giving a tenner to BAT. Yeah. So every donation that we get to make the film is also a good deed to helping a charity raise some money and buy some more specialist tables for people suffering from Alzheimer's.
Yeah, that's fantastic. It really is. It really, really is. And that, you know, that's the thing with Alzheimer's is I don't think there's anybody who can say that they don't know anybody who's been touched by it. You know, it's just it's an awful disease. And I mentioned to you on the group chat that my uncle unfortunately has it. He's pretty early on, so it's not, he's sort of okay most of the time, but it's it's an awful disease, and we are so behind you on this short film. We really are. Thank you. No, I really appreciate that. And also, if anyone wants to, come and talk to us, we're going to be at the Alzheimer's show this weekend as well. So we're going to be trying to get the message out and just chat to people as well. I think there's so many people that have reached out already. A lot of them even actors, who have said, I've been in this situation. I haven't had the support. I didn't know who to reach out to. I didn't know that these various foundations or charities existed, and that would have really helped me out. And also the fear of people getting it is something we've discovered with a couple of crew members, is that, it runs in their family. Yeah. And what do you do when maybe your parents have just got it or your grandparents have got it, and you know that you might get it because actually you have the symptom, it's present in your system apparently 15 years before it shows. Right. We could be all walking around having it, not knowing. And do you then go to and have the test, or do you not? Do you live? It's this kind of thing of, do you want to know whether you've got something like this? If there's no specific cure at this moment in time. So yeah, we've learnt so much about it. It's terrifying. It's something that we want to keep working with and just getting the message out and helping people know that there's support out there. It's a really important thing to to be doing. It really is.
Definitely. And that's one of the messages within the film as well. The fact that it's not just the person diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease that this affects. There's a ripple effect that affects everyone who knows the person diagnosed. So it's bigger than just one person. Yeah, definitely. Well, I mean that was the thing with my uncle is, you know, he's one of the smartest guys I would know, and to the thought of him having this disease and what will eventually, you know, become of him is just heartbreaking. You know, it really is. So yeah, it really is a great film that you guys are making. It truly is. Tell everybody where they can find you on social media and what have you, and then we'll plug the IndieGoGo once again, and then we'll wrap this up then.
Go for it, Johnny.
Yeah, I'll go for it. Yeah. So on Twitter and Instagram, we're the same handle. It's just at Ethel Short Film, all one word. And Facebook, we are Ethel A Short Film. And then to find it on IndieGoGo to give us some donations, we are www.igg.me/@/Ethel. And there all of our social media. On our website is www.ethelshortfilm.co.uk.
Cool. I was looking at the website before. It's a nice website.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And obviously there are links on the website. There are links on all the social medias and everything where people can click on that. And it's easy as hell to donate to IndieGoGo. It really is. As I said earlier on, I did it yesterday, and it takes seconds. So, you know, everybody just go for it. Go and do it.
Yeah, and we also understand that not everyone can, and that's fine, you know. But what will really help us is sharing, liking, retweeting, reposting, anything that anyone can do to scream and shout about it. What we've also started is a sticky note, hashtag called Ethel Visits, and what we're asking people from all over the world to do is either take a selfie with a post-it note saying, I'm supporting at Ethel Short Film, hashtag Ethel Visits, hashtag Alzheimer's, or sticking it on a landmark, you know, anywhere that would be recognisable across the world, and posting it to our social media on Instagram at Ethel Short Film, and nominating some friends to do the same, because we want this to go viral.
Good.
Yeah, think of it as the post-it challenge, or the sticky note challenge. Yeah, like the ice challenge or the statue challenge or whatever the silly challenges that everyone does these days on social media. We've started our own, and it's as easy as writing a few words on a post-it note and taking a photo. That's it. You haven't got to pour ice over yourself. You haven't got to stand still for 5 minutes. All you got to do is take a photo of a post-it note.
Good. Everybody, you heard it. Do it.
I am supporting at Ethel Short Film. You should too. Hashtag Ethel Visits. Hashtag Alzheimer's.
There you go, everybody. And go to IndieGoGo and support this if you can. Guys, thank you so much for coming on tonight. This has really been a great chat with you guys. And we cannot wish you luck anymore. We really, we're so far behind you, and we will continue to share it like hell on our pages and all that. And we wish you the best of luck.
You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for your support. Thanks. We'll see you at set, hopefully.
Yes. Fingers crossed.
You're welcome anytime.
All right, guys. So that was Jonny and Trish.
That was Jonny and Trish. It was a fantastic interview. I really liked speaking to them. I wish I hadn't had to run in and defuse a napalm bomb in the house. But I think these things have to be done. You know, I'm living my own private Vietnam right now. So.
Blimey.
But it's a fantastic interview. It's a fantastic short movie that we need to get it made. I mean, it sounds like it's going to get made either way, but we really need this to be made and to be seen and to be shown to the masses.
Well, you can tell from when Trish is speaking about it, she's very, very passionate about it, and she says a few times during the review, this is happening, it is going to be made. And just, the people that they've got attached to this project is incredible.
It's unbelievable. I mean, the old Miriam Margolyes, you're happy about that one. I know you are. I'm very happy as well about that one, especially when they were sort of like telling us the sort of lady she is, and you can kind of, from what we've seen of Miriam Margolyes before, you can see her embodying this role.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I'm hoping there'll be a few choice fuck shit cunts and stuff.
Oh, I mean, I thought so. I don't think I've ever said can't. I don't think I've ever heard her say can't.
Oh, I'm sure.
Certainly the other ones.
And Mr.
Oh, no, she has. She has. She said it on...
Graham Norton.
No, not Graham Norton. No, the BBC wouldn't have that. No, it was...
Never the BBC.
It was The Last Leg.
Right.
She was on The Last Leg.
Cool.
And she said that, and Adam Hill, who presents it, said... I just need to, this is after the Watershed Mind, because it starts at like 10 p.m. on a Friday night.
Yeah.
And he said, I just need to apologise for Miriam's use of language.
Really?
And she goes, what language? Cunt. She's great. She really is. She's just amazing.
She is awesome. She is.
Mm-hmm.
And you had the chance.
I think probably I like to think that when I went up to meet her in Cincy, that I was maybe the only one who didn't talk about Harry Potter and spoke about her swearing on The Last Leg and Graham Norton.
Well, that's probably like the only thing the Americans know her for, because Harry Potter and Americans. So but Miriam's up in there. You've got Professor Green himself, Stephen Manderson, who's a fantastic presenter on some of these documentaries he's been part of. Suicide and Me kind of thing. He's really passionate about this stuff, so I can't wait to see the performance he's going to put in this. Couple of new sort of up and coming guys who are kind of trying to break in. You've got Elijah Baker and you've got JJ from Union J, which was a surprise. Like, I don't know, like boy band into short film, but I'm really intrigued to see what he did. He had a.
But then Mike is working with someone similar whose name I can't remember right now.
Oh, he's working with Dougie from McFly.
That's the one.
Dougie Pointer, on Amsterdam Secrets.
Mm.
So I mean, it's cool to see these guys stretching their legs, and of course, the one that I think I'm quite really excited about. I mean, I'm excited about all these guys, but Mr. Al Snow.
Yeah.
But is he going to be? Is he in the movie, or is he just doing choreography?
I think he's just doing choreography, and obviously he's supporting them. Have you bought your wrestling?
Well, I'm glad you mentioned this, because one of the perks on the IndieGoGo, when you go onto the page, you can actually, if you give a little bit of money, I think it's £50. Is that the picture I showed you?
Yep.
It is £50, and for that £50, not only are you funding a fantastic movie that needs to be shown and also giving money to a fantastic charity that needs the money, but you yourself will get some wrestling lessons with the legend that is Al Snow.
See, I think we should... I have an idea.
Oh, I like the sound of this already.
So those guys have got their IndieGoGo.
Yeah.
It's going at the moment. Mm-hmm. I think that we should start a Kickstarter or Summer 11 for the listeners of 365 to chip in to have you go and do your wrestling thing with Al Snow.
Right. Okay.
And, obviously all of the money will go to the charity, but I think we should do that.
Cool. No. you just want Al Snow to rip me apart.
Well, it's kind of that. It's kind of I want to see you in a singlet as well,
Oh, I would totally wear a singlet. Big time. So, like we say, we can talk about that off air. We can talk about that. But like I say, for £50, come on, you get 10 lessons with Al Snow. You know, the wrestling legend that is. And you get to walk in front of him and go, what does everybody want? And it just go for it, man. Man, £50. I'm up for it.
Get it done. Honestly, I think we should. I think that the 365 listeners will go for that. I think that listeners, if you want us to do that, be quick. I think you should message at 365FlixPod. Tell Kev that you guys want that to happen. We will set it up.
Oh man, I'll get beasted.
Yeah, no, it's great.
That's all.
But I have to be there to film it, obviously.
Do you think you would just smash me over the head with head?
I would hope so.
Yeah, so would I, to be honest.
So, yeah.
But yeah, there's loads of other perks on there. You know, from £5 right up to I think it's 15,000 to be like a what is it, a producer? I
think so. They do tell they told us about that on the.
All right, so executive producer. That's what you've got. You can get the script for Ethel. You can get promo posters. You can get storyboards. You can get concept images. You can get on the Skype.
They also have a perk where it's like a post-it note lottery.
Yeah, I saw that one. Yeah,
which is cool because you could get Maria Margulies' autograph or Professor Green or the other guys that are involved in the project as well. So but that's pretty sweet. That's pretty cool.
And one of the ones that I like, that if as Toby said in his report earlier on, if you're a filmmaker and all this, one of the perks that they are given is that you can Skype with the producers of the movie, which is Trish and Sasha of Three Wise Monkeys. And if you are an up and coming young budding filmmaker, I can't even tell you how priceless that would be, because the back catalogue that these guys have, the work that these guys have done over the year. I mean, Sasha's been in the bill, all right? You can't put a price on that.
And Trish has been in Bad Girls.
That's
just cream of the crop. The only thing missing from there is Doctor Who, but Sasha was the Poof and Tights in Black Adam.
So, I mean, with those kind of credits, I mean, we're kind of downplaying that a little bit. To be fair, they have got a fantastic career behind them already, and it sounds like we're taking the mick. We're not taking the mick. We just love some of the things that these guys have done. But they have got so much knowledge of the industry through their productions so far that, getting on Skype with those guys would probably be priceless.
Mm-hmm.
They would be able to give you so much information. So give that one, if you're an up-and-coming filmmaker, get the film made and get this Skype call and just get it done, right? So we want to see this movie. We want to see
Definitely.
This
movie. We do. It's IndieGoGo. It takes 2 seconds to do it. I did it earlier on in the week there. It really does only take 2 seconds to donate. It's really, really easy, and it's secure as well. Just, help these guys make their movie.
Definitely. So we're going to leave it there?
I think that's a good place to leave it.
Yeah. Ethel, a short film. If people offer to give us money so that I have to get my arse kicked by Al Snow, I'm not going to be happy. If we get one message,
I think that we should. I'll set that up as a poll.
Don't, because whenever you do polls, they just go through the roof.
Well, they don't, do they? We had 7 votes on the last one.
But I don't want to get my ass kicked by Al Snow.
Well, it'll not be that bad.
I'd take a beating off Grado, but not Al Snow. Come on. Come on. You tear me apart.
You tear me apart, Lisa.
You tear me apart. Right, man. Awesome. That will serve as our... I quite liked Toby's little thing.
Yeah, it was cool.